Welcome to my channel, Satsangat Astrology, and thank you for visiting me, and welcome. Um, um, I'm here to talk about the Virgo solar eclipse, and I will show you the chart and analyze the chart. But before I do that, I will talk a little bit about what is the transiting south node through the sign of Virgo, because this is essential to understand the real importance and the real meaning of this only solar eclipse in this axis, Virgo Pisces, because all the other eclipses are lunar eclipses, culminations. And this is the only one that is with the south node and solar eclipse. So it is a new beginning. However, we are at the same time leaving something behind. So it's a new beginning, as a new start of something related to the sign of Virgo and the house where Virgo falls on your chart. However, it has this flavor of something is finishing, and there are many endings, and not only in our personal life, but as well as the world. So we are closing a huge cycle. We have transits that have not happened for thousands of years. So we are here leaving behind some old world, old way of doing things, right? Virgo, all skills that we have, and they're not useful for us anymore. So that's why this solar eclipse, this new beginning, not only is it eclipsed and opposed Saturn, but it's also with the south node. So we are to release some of the aspects of Virgo in our lives. Virgo is, of course, the logical, very organized sign. It is known by being the discerning sign of the zodiac, where we can identify and find solutions to problems. All right, we can identify problems because Virgo is always very acute, has always very acute analyzing and rational skills that is very practical, so that allows Virgo to find what is not working, what needs repair, what is the problem here. And so it's also sometimes criticized because of the perfectionism and finding the little detail and being annoying like that. However, if it weren't for a Virgo, then we would have a hard time finding those faults, those things that need to be fixed. Now, with the South Node transiting Virgo, we will have to let go of being so practical, so analytical, so logical, and so organized, and sometimes to be so focused on the routines and the cleaning and the purification, and even on health, right? So we have to release what is service. We have to work less, and maybe we are experiencing unemployment, for example. And Virgo is also associated with the health and healthcare and treatments for health, prevention, hygiene, and we may find kind of a negligence here. Also, a lack of preventative methods in the healthcare system. So that is the effect of having a south node, which is kind of a drain of energy, a release. Sometimes go back in history to find solutions, right? And also trying to find solutions on the spiritual side of life instead of being so practical. South Node is more spiritual, more metaphysic, if you want, and it helps us surrender, release, and end things. So we may see difficulty in solving problems, whatever they are. They could be administrative problems, there could be work problems, or health problems. It could be a difficulty solving those issues. Virgo is also associated with the humble population, those who work, do manual work and have low pay. And in the ancient times, those were the slaves, the serfs. Or today, it is Virgo is associated with the employees and the dependents, people who need help. And we may have issues to solve regarding employment, as I said. Also, it may be harder to do the chores of the daily life and to keep up with our routines, and even our health. What else? It is also very difficult nowadays to have discernment due to the misinformation, the publications that oftentimes bring half-truths and even lies. Also, AI-generated information that could be misleading, and not only misleading, but intentionally trying to dupe us or deceive us. Anyways, that's about South Node transiting Virgo. And next, I will analyze the chart. And one of the features of this chart is the kite, right? It's exactly a configuration that looks like a kite. But in addition to that, there are 3 yods. And this solar eclipse in Virgo is a very complex chart. As you can see here, every element of the chart is related to everything else, and in a hard way. So we have the sun and the moon, 29 degrees of Virgo, 5 minutes, and in opposition to Saturn. And let's start with that. So first of all, the last degree of any sign is demanding an urgent need to wrap up and to finish an issue, to finish what the transit of the moon and the sun have been doing in Virgo. And not only that, but close to the south node, we have an element of finishing, of completion and achievement here. And especially related to letting go, release, and surrender sometimes. At the same time, this opposition to Saturn indicates that the results of this new beginning will be delayed. There are obstacles that are opposing us. What else? Red tape, rules, regulations, and we are asked to be patient. We need to be patient. We need to wait the right moment at the right time. And the consequences of whatever is initiated with this eclipse at the last degree of the Virgo will have lasting consequences. Meaning that this will certainly have effects that will endure through time, and it will be difficult to deal with if something, let's say something negative is affecting our lives, we will feel it very heavily for a long time. So in any case, Saturn will come back direct over this 29 degrees of Pisces, opposing this eclipse near January, February, probably. So we will revisit every time that either Mars or Saturn transits the degree of an eclipse, either by conjunction, opposition, square. We have a reactivation of the theme. So we can count on that. And there are several layers to a cycle, to an eclipse cycle, because, as I said, every time a planet transits that degree, it is activated once more. And the moon travels every month through that. Then the next planet will be Venus. The next one will probably be Saturn, opposing it, Neptune opposing it, and by next year we will have Mars traveling that way again, Mercury as well. So within a year or so we will have several planets transited by this eclipse. So, and this eclipse is part of another cycle, which is the cycle of eclipses that happen at the same exact degree. And that happens very often, every 18 years. Now, if you were alive in 1968, there's September 22nd, almost the same day, is a solar eclipse, 29, 30 minutes of Virgo. So then the next one was September 22nd, also 1987. And that degree was almost exactly the same solar eclipse, 29 degrees, 34 minutes of Virgo. And the next one, September 22nd, 2006, 29 degrees, 20 minutes of Virgo. And the next one happened 9 years later, March 20th, 2015, at solar eclipse as well, 29 degrees of Pisces, 27 minutes. So here, meaning an opposition, right? Opposition solar eclipse. These have been all solar eclipses. And since the eclipses are triggers of evolutionary stages in our life, we can count on repeating themes, not repeating events, but repeating themes, maybe with different people, with different situations, but the same theme. And we are along the way learning to deal and develop that theme. For example, if there were relationships, then it will be some person that is reactivating the same theme. So look back at those dates and see what was started back then, and how long did they start, and what were the consequences, if they were long-standing consequences. You can even look at the chart of those eclipses. They are available online very easily in any of the free softwares that you can visit. So you can revisit those dates and see how the events back then relate to events that you're living right now. Now, I already talked about this opposition that is very, very strong in a kite. The kite is the configuration with great instability. And now we will analyze the ruler of this eclipse, which is Mercury in Virgo. Mercury rules Virgo and is now in Libra. So Mercury in Libra, it is actually talking and thinking and learning about relationships, about commitments, about agreements, about deals, deals that look for balance between two parties. Now, we have Venus in Virgo, meaning that Mercury and Venus have a mutual reception, and they are supporting each other in the work. So Venus is talking about the values of the relationships, right? And also the problems that are arising in those relationships. So you can count that on the fact that this eclipse is about relationships and how to find a fair balance, equanimity within relationships of all kinds. It could be at the level of romantic relationships, family relationships, or countries, or business relationships. So this collaboration between Mercury and Venus is supportive in the way that they are exchanging the ideas, and Mercury is focused on talking about the values and the resources needed in order to find this compromise, right? Now, and Venus in Virgo is focusing on the details needed for the development of this agreement, let's say. Hopefully this helps in the peace negotiations. Anyways, there are several things that make this chart extra super complex. That's why we cannot really exhaust all the meanings. We cannot arrive to a concrete a very specific and very targeted meaning, because all the elements are talking to each other, and it's like putting 7 or 8 or 10 kinds of fruit in a blender and blend it with other ingredients, liquid ingredients, and chia seeds and whatever you like, and vanilla and sugar, whatever you'd like to put in a juice, in a shake, and then trying to figure out what is in it, right? So the end result will be something unique for every person, for every country, for everyone. Given the situation, given your natal chart, given the fact that it might or might not coincide with your natal planets or angles, etc. Now, remember that the eclipses in one axis, like Virgo Pisces in this case, happen at different degrees. And in fact, I have the list here. So we had eclipses in Pisces, lunar eclipse at 25:47. Next one for 23:58, almost 24 degrees in March 2025. Then we just had September 7 at 15 degrees of Pisces. Then we have this one at the end, very end, solar eclipse at the end of Virgo. Then next eclipses will be Virgo, 12 degrees 51 in March. The next one will be in Pisces, lunar eclipse as well, 4 degrees 51. And the last, very, very last eclipse of this axis will happen in February 2027 at almost 2 degrees of Virgo. So I think one of them will touch your chart, of course, because there are so many degrees that, but you can count on a process that is happening, especially through the transit of the nodes in this axis. So there is a process developing according to the sign and the house that the nodes and the eclipses are happening. No matter if these eclipses are conjoining or aspecting a planet or a point or an angle. So there is a process that is very subtle, because the nodes of the moon and the eclipses are an energy that is subtle, and it's not always in your face, right? And oftentimes the effects happen before the eclipses and we don't even recognize them. Sometimes it happens later on when there is a transit over that degree. And with time, we develop the energies that the eclipse brings. So, and moreover, having Saturn opposing this eclipse, it will take time. This is not a new beginning that will just be punctual right now, and it will be radical. I think it will take time to develop. Anyways, and the other thing that we need to talk about is the yods. I said there are 3, and one of them has the apex on Mars. Mars in Libra, another ending, right? And in the base is this sextile between Saturn, Neptune conjunction, and Uranus. So when we talk about yods, there are quincunxes these angles are quincunxes or inconjunctions. But what is not explained very often is that there are different kinds of quincunx. One of them is, as you see here, 150 degrees from Uranus to Mars. So meaning this is an opening, 150-degree angle. And it has the flavor and the energy of Virgo. So this aspect between Mars and Uranus has the energy of a health, of problems, of things that need to be fixed. For example, we know that Mars in Libra doesn't really work very well, but it is making efforts to fix or to take action on relationships, on making a compromise. And it's not only Mars in Libra could be passive aggressive and sarcastic sometimes, but it can also be difficult to compromise. Mars in Libra doesn't know how to compromise. So it has a hard time giving in to his desires. Now, the other quincunx is, of course, with Mars, but is the 210 degrees quincunx from Saturn, Neptune to Mars. And this angle is an angle with the energy of Scorpio. There is very similar to Mars, right? And it carries that transformational power with it. So from Saturn, Neptune, we have seen confusion, deception. We have seen so many things, for example, through internet that seem so real, and they end up being just fabricated through AI. So we are duped because we are not yet trained in discernment. So and as I said at the beginning, describing South Node and Virgo, we have a very hard time exercising discernment in the reality we live right now. So yeah, Mars in quincunx 210 degrees angle from this has this difficulty. Of course, because this Mars is trying to, as I said, compromise with very little skills, compromising, and at the same time, he doesn't know exactly what reality is in. So there is another Yod, or finger of God, with the apex on Venus. In this case, Venus is 210 degrees from Pluto and 150 from Saturn-Neptune conjunction. So here we have a Venus in Virgo that is transforming the values. The values we have, for example, in healthcare, how we take care of health, and it's through powerful transformation of information, Aquarius, right, and science. So we have scientific information that now contradicts previous knowledge, and this Venus is changing her values in Virgo, her values about health, healthcare, work, employment, etc. all the themes Virgo. Now, the same thing in relationship and quincunx or 150 degrees from this conjunction, we can say that this confusion and even deception makes for the problems, the value problems that we are facing with Venus in Virgo. So these definitely these values are changing, but they might be based on deceiving information. Now there is another yod, and is formed with a sextile from Venus to Mars, and they are both quincunxing Saturn and Neptune. So the base, Venus and Mars are working together. As I said, in this case, Venus is ruling Mars, and they are working, helping each other. However, not very efficiently. Venus is not happy in Virgo. Too many details to consider, and Mars is unhappy in Libra. Too many compromises to make, right? And then the apex is this conjunction, which is very problematic, as I described it already. Now, if that is not enough, we also have two very strong squares, which is Venus in square with Uranus. And this actually brings innovations in financial matters related to Virgo themes, financial matters related to health, healthcare, employment, work, service, and all the problems that we need to fix, right? And we may be considering innovative information, Gemini, Uranus in Gemini, innovation in information, learning something new that changes our values. Now there is another square which is forming. In fact, the Venus-Uranus is separating just for a couple of days. Venus square Uranus happened on September the 20th, just the day before. And Mars will perfect the square with Pluto on the 24th, just 3 days later. So Mars is forming this square, is very powerful while applying to the square to Pluto. And unfortunately, this is the most serious and I would say grave aspect in this chart because it always implies cruelty, conflicts, war, attacks, killings, cruelty in general, and violence. So unfortunately, this eclipse is building up to some kind of attack that could be attacks because the perfection will be with Mars in Scorpio, and Mars in Scorpio is not as direct or impulsive like he is in Aries, because Scorpio represented by the scorpion, right? The scorpion waits in his nest, very at the end of his black hole, wait for his prey, and then when the little animal comes in, he bites on it, right? So this is the archetype of Mars in Scorpio, meaning that it doesn't play clean. Most of the time it is playing, acting in hidden places, with secrets, secret deals, and sometimes criminal. There could be attacks that are during the night, for example, or attacks that we can't find where they come from. Very hidden violent behavior. And of course, Pluto is the modern ruler of Scorpio, so it has a double, I would say, criminal flavor to it, because this could be criminal. It could be, for example, it could be an attack on a nuclear plant, or Pluto in Aquarius, or an electrical plant, attacks, hackings to the internet, mass murders, because Aquarius is collective, right? So unfortunately, I can't give you good news about this square. It is very problematic. But as I said, it happens 3 days after, at 1 degree, 27 minutes of Scorpio, Aquarius. And Pluto is retrograde. So we're looking at things that maybe already happened. Pluto retrograde at 1:27. And Mars comes here to close, is the closing square, from a cycle that started at 0 or 1 degree of Aquarius. Remember, the conjunction of Mars and Pluto happened at the beginning of Aquarius a couple of years ago. And we can look back and see what was happening back then. Because this closing square will certainly be related to that theme. So, in this chart, at your personal level and your personal life, look at the house where the eclipse is happening. Look at the house occupied by this Saturn in Pisces, where you will find the obstacles, the restrictions, or the need to be more disciplined, the need to have more patience. That will be that house, the Pisces. And the new beginning will be in the house of Virgo, where the 29 degrees are. So, as I said, this chart has a lot of beginnings. Pluto at 1 degree, Neptune at 0, Uranus at 1, Venus at 2, Mercury at 5. So there's a lot of beginnings and a couple of endings. Double ending with the eclipse, because first is at 29 degrees, which is an ending degree. And second is with the south node. So it's requiring for us to let go of something. Mars is at 29 Libra as well. So we are wrapping up our actions, our efforts, our work regarding compromises, or regarding how to find peace, or regarding a way of living with the other in a balanced way, right? Like a relationship that has a good give and take, a balanced give and take. So a kite is a very unstable configuration in spite of those trines and those sextiles because of the power of this opposition. And oftentimes the trines and the sextiles do not motivate us so much to resolve the problem. They actually are let it be kind of aspects. So that's why the opposition is more prevalent. So anyways, that's enough, I think, for the analyzing this chart. I hope it's useful. I also wanted to show you the comparison from the map of the Pisces lunar eclipse, where here we have, let me see, we have the Pisces lunar eclipse running through the center states of the United States, which are, I have them written here, I think. I remember writing them. Of course, when I need them, it's not there. Okay. Anyways, but we have several states crossing the Pisces lunar eclipse. And we also have the Saturn-Neptune conjunction through Washington, D.C. I already explained to you what they mean, the lack of boundaries, the lack of rules, deception, etc. Now, the Virgo solar eclipse is running on the midheaven of California, Oregon, Washington, over here. And curiously, the Saturn and Neptune on the IC. So this could be borders problems. I don't know, trying to secede, trying to separate in some way. And we have Mars in the midheaven with Chiron in the IC here running close to the Pisces lunar eclipse, where these it's about the same. It's about the same line, very close, Mars. And if we remember, the president ordered the troops to show up in Chicago, Illinois. This Mars may be the sign of that. The other important things is that Jupiter is here on the descendant, is passing through Washington, D.C., New York, and Jupiter is transiting Cancer, which is the sign of patriotism, of defending one's country, one's tribe, one's home. And Jupiter is expanding that, if you want, nationalism or protection of your own country. And I think it illustrates the politics that are going on right now of protecting and defending America and isolating the country from other powers. Anyways, that's something curious that if you like to follow up on it, just send me a message under the video, or make a comment or something. If all of that is not enough, we also have Pluto out of bounds. So I already spoke about the meaning of this in my previous, I think it was the lunar eclipse that I spoke about it, but I put it here on your screen as a reminder that it will be out of bounds until November the 23rd this year. And it will continue doing the second part of the year for 10 more years. Anyways, if if the upheavals are not enough, we have Pluto also helping a little bit. Anyways, if you're interested in my courses or in ordering your personal astrological consultation, don't hesitate to contact me via email. And I also write on this blog, satsangatastrology.blogspot.com. In spite of what this name may suggest to you, I do tropical whole signs system astrology. Tropical based on the changes of the seasons, the solstice and equinoxes. So I do Western tropical astrology. Thank you for watching, and I look forward to your messages, comments, and anything that you would like to say. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.